Chinese Formula One driver Zhou Guanyu says he has his Halo cockpit safety device to thank for saving his life. The Alfa Romeo driver was unharmed after a horrific crash in the first corner at the British Grand Prix. His car flipped over and flew into a fence by one of the spectator grandstands. The titanium device surrounds the driver's head and has been credited with saving numerous drivers from death or severe injury. Well, let's talk now to Graham Benge, who's a motoring journalist for the podcast UK Motor Talk. Welcome to the programme, Graham. So, as we saw there, a dramatic crash for Zhou Guanyu in Sunday's Grand Prix. Almost unbelievable that he escaped without being injured more seriously. What happened?
Well, it was a quite spectacularly bad accident within seconds, really, of the start of the Grand Prix, just after the first bend, and a multi-car accident. But it was unfortunately Joe that came off worst of that. There were at least 6 cars damaged to one degree or another. But he was sadly flipped upside down. He was partly inverted on the tarmac, and then through a very wide gravel trap. And the most bizarre, I think, part of that incident was the fact that he hit the Tech Pro, which is designed to slow the cars down, and was by the Tech Pro, was flipped upside down and finished up in a more or less inverted position between the Tech Pro and the catch fencing. It's not a very wide area, and all thanks to the quality marshals in this country, that they're well trained to deal with those things. They're regarded as some of the best in the world, and they managed to disarm the car electrically, get the doctor into him, and then right the car once the doctor was happy that that could be done.
And as you say, sorry, Graham. I was just going to say, as you say, he was basically skidding along upside down, and he has said it was the Halo device in his car that saved his life. So, how does this work?
Well, it's essentially it's a hoop that sits partly in front of the driver's eyes, a very narrow section, but it surrounds the cockpit in a safety cradle, really. And that's designed to take a load of 6,000 kilos. Now, if you're wondering what that is, the designers say that it's the same as 2 elephants. I've never weighed elephants, so I don't know. But it is designed to work at up to 225 miles an hour. And it did, without a doubt, save Joe's life on this occasion. And it has saved others since it was introduced in 2018. And a number of the drivers initially were against it.
Well, I was going to ask you about that, because there has been criticism, hasn't there, over the years, that safety measures like this one actually slow the sport down. Do they?
They do. The cars are as fast now as they were a couple of years ago, and probably getting faster through some of the bends. It's a fact that it is a motorsport that is extremely dangerous. But I've been following that motorsport since I was a kid, since the 1950s. And regularly, your most favourite driver would be killed. And I can well remember Sterling Moss telling me that he would, on average, lose a friend every few weeks when he was driving in the 50s and 60s. Really, the safety aids only started to be introduced really through the teens, and particularly the Halo was designed in 2016, fitted in 2018. And it's now part of the crash test structure of the car. So it's not just a case of fitting it, it's actually tested to destruction, as is the rest of the car.
OK, Graham, thanks so much for talking to us today. We really appreciate you joining us. Graham Benge there.
My pleasure.